parents think it tastes like vinegar, and I have to say it kind of does, but as a kid I used to drink vinegar because I thought it was so good. So this is like the perfect drink for me. Okay. So, I know you guys really love this selenite wand. So I brought her back out so we can kind of set the tone for the video today. How are you guys doing lately? I hope you're doing well. It's getting darker and darker and colder and colder. And if you're anything like me, you might feel tired and maybe unmotivated to do things that you used to have the motivation to do. And I'm here to say that I completely understand that. And you're not alone in that feeling. So don't be too hard on yourself. And make sure you're taking the time to really take care of yourself and rest. Okay? Great. So, something I really didn't get to show you guys much of last time were my new oracle cards. Which I'm really excited about. These were gifted to me by Awakening in a Box, which is a lovely shop. new moon is actually tomorrow, so it's a really good time to be manifesting if there's anything in particular that you want to bring into your space. So I hope you guys can take the time to do that for yourselves tomorrow. I think it's really important, even if you're not spiritual, to kind of set those goals for yourself so you know what you're doing and you have that structure. So this is the deck of 44 cards right here. And then, we're missing one. And then here we have our little tiny guidebook, which will explain each and every card. And really take us through what it means. So perhaps we can pick a few for you and for this video, and I can read you the meaning of them, because it would take really long for me to show you all 44 cards, but I would really love to. Okay. So normally the way that I pick out oracle cards, oracle cards, oracle cards, oracle cards, oracle cards, oracle cards. There's a few ways to do this, but the way that I personally choose to do it is I will shuffle until 3 fall out, or 3 really stand out to me while shuffling. So I'm gonna do that for us now, okay? And I have no idea how to shuffle. And you can just repeat in your mind, is there anything I need to hear? Is there any message I need to hear? Sticking out. Okay. So we have 3 now that really stuck out. This is the first card. Has a beautiful little fairy looking lady, and she has 3 cats sitting on her lap, and she has this beautiful sunset, and she's sitting under a really grand looking tree. This card is number 40, At Day's End, Rest. And under the little picture right here it says, I find peace in nature and rest my body and mind in order to connect to my spirit. I've actually gotten this card quite a bit, and I totally agree. I think going into nature colors. It's this beautiful mermaid-looking woman with this amazing green hair that spans a large distance throughout the water. And she's swimming with a dolphin right here. She has a beautiful little pendant as well. Oh, there's two dolphins. I want to be her. This is number 11, water elemental. And on the bottom here, the quote says, I allow my body, mind, and spirit to flow intuitively through the changes in life. I actually talk a lot about water and being like water and flowing. So it's funny that this is showing up again. Okay, shall we read about number 11? Okay, number 11, water elemental. The element of water is the most fluid of all the elements. It is associated with emotions, the subconscious, and love, as well as intuition and creativity. This card is asking you to be aware that life is in constant flow, forever changing. Do not hold on to past emotions, relationships, objects, or situations that prevent you from moving with the natural flow of your own life. Invite into your life people and experiences that make you feel happy and give you pleasure. If you tend to isolate yourself too much, now is the time to gradually start spending more time with people you feel comfortable with. The element of water is also linked to the planting and germination of new things. Perhaps it is time to start the project or course that you've always wanted to do. Put your heart into it and find enjoyment. If you are very emotional, this card could be a reminder to you to be gentle and understanding with yourself. Recognize what brings out your emotions and move away from that which brings out negative emotions in you. The oceans, rivers, and shells are associated with this element. Mermaids and sirens are symbolic of their energy. I really like that one. I recently had to let go of a relationship that I really didn't want to let go of, even though I saw that it was no longer working. I had convinced myself that it was up to me to fix that, but sometimes when things no longer serve you, it's actually just up to you to let go of them for your own good. So, I think this is something that I'm always trying to remind myself of, to live with a certain fluidity, and especially during these times. I'm in another lockdown, so it's hard to know things are certain. Everything's changing constantly, and it's hard to see people, but I think you can always Zoom and have a social life no matter what. So I guess this card is telling you to be fluid and keep those who really matter around you. Anything that is no longer serving you, now's the time to let go of that. think I actually received this one really recently, so maybe it's trying to tell me something. Here we have a beautiful lady in red, and she looks like she's really feeling herself. Don't you think she looks so confident? And again, with the flowing long hair, I love it. These cards are all about the divine feminine and that feminine energy and power, and I absolutely adore that in the artwork. So she looks like she's bathing in this beam of light down here, and she's just letting it wash over her. And the quote at the bottom says, "I have everything I need to survive and grow on the physical plane." So let's read about number 5, okay? Here we are. Number 5, root chakra. The root chakra is linked to the earth, your survival, your physical needs, food, warmth, and shelter. Its name is Muladhara and means root support. I hope I pronounced that right. The color associated with it is red, and it is situated at the base of your spine. This card has appeared to remind you that your lack of self-esteem comes from measuring your life against others. Your basic needs will be attended to only if you follow your truth. By doing this, you will gain confidence and find that you are able to manifest all that you need. It is important to ground yourself to the earth to balance this chakra. Balancing your root chakra will allow you to be the master of your own life and will assist you in finding limitless energy and in achieving your goals. However, it may be necessary to take an objective look at aspects of your life that prevent you from doing this. Your physical and psychological roots have shaped you into who you are today. There may be a childhood experience which prevents you from finding meaning to life. Seek professional help to move past childhood blockages. If you experienced lack as a child, this memory may prevent you from accepting abundance as an adult. Meditating, working with red crystals, or practicing yoga can also assist you in balancing this chakra. So, of course, you can take all of that with a grain of salt and take from it whatever message seems to apply. I think what I see when I look at these 3 cards that we chose today is a message of rest and letting go of what really no longer is serving you in your life. was so silly because I think I should have seen it. But then I realized, no, I was going into it with a fresh and new open mind, and it's not my fault that it happened the same way. But we can learn from every situation and every experience. So, no harm, no foul, I guess. was anxious and could hardly wait for her to finish eating. The old woman was touched by the generosity of the man. She thanked him and left. The man had barely finished preparing the table for the master again when someone knocked at the door. This time it was another stranger who had traveled across the desert. The stranger looked into the man's face and said, "I'm thirsty. Can you please give me something to drink?" The man was a little disappointed again because it was not the master, but he invited the stranger into his home and sat him in the place he had prepared for the master. He served the wine he had intended to give the master. When the stranger left, the man again prepared everything for the master. Someone knocked at the